they're going at his family. And as he said, it's not just a game. It's also his occupation. But people are sending death wishes to his wife, and they're harassing his mom. And, that obviously is beyond the pale. Let's start there.
Yeah. You gotta take all that in seriousness, right, when you start dealing with your family and stuff like that. But it's cowards on social media. That's why I say people on social media are cowards in general. Like, you hide behind a keyboard and you say things. If you're going to step to them, then step to them. Stop talking the nonsense. This young man has kids. He has a wife. He has a mother. And it's cool to say these sort of things if that's what you feel, but put your name and your face to it. Don't hide behind it. And I think too many times people think because they buy tickets to games that they can say what they want to say, do what they want to do, and there's no consequences behind their actions. And I'm not going to sit up here and applaud it. It's ridiculous. And I don't give a damn if his wife is on social media, and I don't care if she is interacting with individuals and responding back to them. She's going to defend her family. You got to be a damn fool to think that this woman is not going to defend her family. That's all I got to say on that front.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't condone anybody to get death wishes at all.
Ridiculous.
I got stuff for saying my thoughts and pieces on Kyrie. That's fine. I mean, I'm used to it in the public eye, but it's not acceptable. It's not correct. I do kind of make the argument, though, from the fans' perspective, that if you engage in that kind of talk, like for Nina, Russell Westbrook's wife, if she's going after people like Skip Bayless or Stephen A. Smith, or challenge other people for the rights for her family, for her husband, then that kind of opens you up to criticism about your husband, right? I'm not condoning any kind of.
Let's
I'm not condoning any kind of.
Let's just make very clear.
Yes.
You are not. It's never okay to send death wishes to someone's
never
family.
Okay. I don't condone that at all.
Let's
never
just
okay.
put that aside, because any adult person, and hopefully kids also understand, that's not okay. Okay, now let's deal with other kinds of criticism.
Yes.
Directed or
at her husband, at Russell.
At Russell, and also some of that stuff hitting her. You're saying because she engages on social media, that's not a private text, that's a public proclamation, right? Then people might also engage with you.
People will engage back, because now you're engaged with, in the form of conversation.
Yeah. Yeah.
But the problem with Nina in her situation is that she's responding to individuals. She's not creating the drama.
No,
she's
that's not necessarily true.
to it.
No, because Stephen A. and Skip Bayless are not directly quoting things to Nina. They're making.
But that's her husband. And she's going to defend her husband, just like I expect your wife to defend you.
Well, my wife doesn't go on social media.
You and your family.
No, my wife doesn't go on social media.
I expect for mine to defend me if people attacking me and my family.
Right, but if that happens, Jay, you correct me if I'm wrong. The logic the argument that you seem to be
I
making.
have to tell my wife, if she goes on social media to defend me, then she will open herself up to all the criticism that will come her way because of her defending me.
But I'm trying to connect the dots. So ultimately, the issue to me, Key, that Jay is pointing out is that if your spouse does the thing you expect them to do, which is, in your case, Key, you expect them to publicly defend you, then you can't turn around and use the fact that they publicly defended you as a shield against criticism. So what Westbrook seems to be doing here is like, okay, fine, his family's going to defend him when people are like, saying he's bad at basketball, whatever. I mean, because let's leave death wishes alone.
Absolutely,
but then it seems like he's turning around and using that as a shield against any criticism, saying, hey, if you're criticizing me, that will ultimately lead to someone defending me and my family, and now you're kind of going at my family. That's where it gets to be a gray area.
See, I don't see it. I don't see it that way. I see it as whether it's Stephen A., whether it's whoever Jay mentioned another name, whatever the case may be, if they are directing it at Russell Westbrook and his wife feels like it is getting too egregious and she wants to defend her husband, I have no issues with that whatsoever at all. Period. She is an active person on social media. And if your wife isn't, Jay, that's you and your family's priority, right? I mean, that's your prerogative, is that you don't want your family on social media, which is fine. But Westbrook's wife, Nina, decides she's going to defend her family and her husband. I take nothing away from that at all. I'm sorry, I just don't.
No, I don't have an issue with her defending her family at all. I just you just have to understand that if you decide to engage in that kind of talk on social media, that social media will then respond to you and criticize you because you're making yourself part of the conversation.
There's another layer to this that I want to get to quickly, because he then takes it a step further. This is the most interesting part to me, because obviously if you're going at Westbrook and at Westbrook's family because he misses some shots, shut up. Grow up, right?
Agreed.
Okay. But, and by the way, that speaks to the way you're raised. I'm sorry. And the reason I'm bringing that up, that does not reflect well on the way you were raised, period. I know some people are sensitive about that, but period. Because you got a last name, and that last name reflects on your parents. And by the way, that's what Westbrook is talking about when he says, but this is why it's tricky for me. He says, when you call me Westbrick, my kids carry around that name. My parents are proud of that name. I'm proud of that name. Now it's crossing over into shaming. That's the reason that's tricky for me is he's right. But when you become a public figure, you are holding up your name, which is also your family's name, to be glorified potentially, but also to be mocked potentially. That's part of the risk. And so while I understand his sensitivity, like, hold on, this is me. But when you go at my last name, you're going at my family and my legacy. That's kind of the cost of doing business. Your last name, they might say Westbrick. And key to me, that is interesting that he's taking it there.
Look, I done been called some of the craziest things in the world, man, as a player. Doesn't matter to me, right? Keyshawn, whatever you want to call me, I can care less. Care less.
Yeah. All right. Well, straight talk
There's
wireless,
a lot to
no
unpack
contract,
there.
no compromise. A lot to unpack.
Like, we need to continue to talk about that.
Agreed.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN Plus right now.